Why? And that I go and say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put the ice on my bay, yeah. You riding on me, I get my drip overseas. Niggas are hating on me, yeah.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Pieces and blessings upon all my Akis and all my sisters out there. Welcome to Split Decision. I'm your host, Aki. To my left,
it's Professor Nim, the pundit with the PhD in pugilism.
Put some respect on his name because that's a real life professor. For the ones that don't know, now y'all know.
I got receipts too.
Talk to him nice. Now we're gonna do a segment today where it's settle the score because episode 7 we had a lot of feedbacks, mixed feedbacks and reviews. So I just want to get this cleared out of the way. Me and Professor Nim, we go way back, before this boxing thing and all that. He like my big bro, and he's like my brother from another mother. So just to get that cleared out of the way. And second of all, when we yelling and we snapping on each other and stuff like that, it's because we very passionate about the sport. You know what I'm saying? That's how we act before a fight. If y'all see our reaction videos and all that. So it ain't no disrespect. If I ever disrespected Professor Nim, best believe I don't mean to, and I apologize, but he already know what time it is. It's Split Decision. He already know. We just having fun.
We already handled that in the ring.
You know what I'm saying? And we could put gloves on and all that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he was my professor for real. I go to the university that he taught at, and he still teaches to this day. So y'all already know what time it is. I'm just explaining this to the fans that don't know. All my Akis and all. This is a brotherhood. My channel, Aki, stand for brotherhood. For the people that don't know. So I just want to clear that Professor Nam, that's like my brother to me. At the end of the day, it's all boxing talk. However, I got to hold my man accountable. He a professor. He know that. I got to hold him accountable because people hold me accountable. So if he throws information out there that's not true, I gotta count on him a little light, you know what I'm saying?
No,
so
vice
that's all
versa,
it is.
though. I come from that. Well, and with that said, so we like to engage with the people who are watching the show and doing that. And I said that I was gonna give a shout out to one of the viewers, Mo Fire, or whatnot. I said,
Musafa.
Watch the show or whatnot.
Musafa?
No, Mo Fire.
Oh, okay.
Mo Fire or whatnot. So with that said, though, I said I was gonna bring receipts and stuff, and I don't know if y'all know. You know what this is right here? So I don't know if y'all know what this is. So this is like
about
the
to
UA.
get aborted or something. I don't know what you got going on.
This is called a pass book. So when you are participating in amateurs and stuff, you get that. So it says 139. I don't weigh that now, but like when I was competing, I used to weigh that and stuff. And then so for those that know, like that's my picture and everything.
Hey, Professor Nan, he throw them hands for real. That's what he basically letting y'all know. Y'all see him. They got him on painting over here. Golden Glove champion. Stop playing with him.
Yeah, so
Stop
so Mo
him.
Fire, I told her I was gonna bring receipts, and you probably don't know what this is because you don't know shit about boxing.
Talk to him nice.
Right here, like I'm not even gonna read it, but just kind of like read that blue tab right there.
We got receipts, Professor Nam. Me and you taught students how to box, man. Stop
Exactly.
playing with me. So
yeah, but
we know what time it is. But as far as boxing, we could talk. You know what I'm saying? People hold me accountable. So when we on the show, the reason we yelling all that is because we passionate about the sport, and I do this for a living. I'm an expert analyst / reporter. I do this daily. Outside of Split Decision, journalists and all that. And I'm part of the new media movement. Shout out to Dante. He started the new media wave. And, shout out to Ego, too. He was part of it. So because of that, people hold us accountable. And I got to represent, and I always do. And that's all it is. So I got to hold Professor Nim accountable when he throws something out there, if that's false or not true.
And vice versa. But I would just say,
like,
somebody was trying to, like, check my credentials and stuff like that.
We ain't sweating that, but we got a new game today. You know what I'm saying? Instead of yelling at each other and all that.
All right, yeah, because we don't want to turn into the View.
Yeah, hey, at the end of the day,
we don't want to turn into the View.
Basketball, soccer, all that. They play with one ball and one ball only. We know boxing, you need 2 balls to hop in the ring. So you get a red card and a yellow card. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna get if you throw something out there that is not true. And it's a false statement, you automatically get a red card. If you throw something out there that's, arguable, and you could go back and forth, then you already know you're going to get a yellow card. So we're going to talk about it. And if you can't debate no more, you could throw in the white flag, Professor Nin. And you already know how that feels because you already did it before. You know what I'm saying? You already threw a wild tag.
Never.
Man, stop playing with him.
I ain't never quit in the ring. I ain't never quit outside the ring.
And me and Professor Nin, we're going to have a sparring match coming soon. You know what I'm saying? You know your boy be throwing them hands. Aki. And then you already know Professor Nin he a Golden Glove champion. So two time. You know, not one time.
Not one time.
Two time. You know, but you know he talking to the truth out here. So it's all right. 2 time, 3 time, it don't matter. But let's get straight to it now.
Let's get to it.
We had a great fights this weekend. Inoue fought in a classic fight against Donaire. We had Devin Haney, Billy Dibb. We even had KSI and Logan Paul. So let's start off with KSI versus Logan Paul to get out the way because, you know, obviously that's not going to take too long. So let's just get out the way. So they fought last night. I know you're not all for it. Now, Abner Morris came out stating that.
I boycotted it.
Yeah, Abner Morris came out saying that it's disrespectful for the sport. It was actually a slap to the sport of boxing because they had champions fighting on the undercards. Now, how you feel about that? Did you see the fight? And if so, like, what you think about the fight in general and what Abner Morris had to say?
I respect Abner Morris, and he's somebody. This is somebody you got to realize they dedicated their life to this sport. And then for people like who are YouTubers to get top billing, they want to do that. So people say, well, it's bringing other people to the sport, is bringing some casuals, and then for them to think that this is what boxing looks like. I didn't see it. I did go after and read the review of the fight and like comment. I know that KSI won. It was a split decision, but I actually heard that Logan,
split decision. That's why we here. That's why
shout
we
out
here
to the show. But I do have an issue with it. It's just the purist in me. And you probably feel like a little bit different, which is fine. Like we can have our own.
We can agree
opinion.
to disagree. Yeah,
we can agree to disagree on that.
Nah.
So you did see the fight.
I did see the fight. I mean, I was surprised how many people wanted to see it from my family. So I was like, man, what's going on? So that's why I told you, hook me up with a DAZN account. And then we just watched the Canelo fight. No, but you can have 2 people watching,
okay.
at the same time. But so, the DAZN thing, it was freezing on me. But as far as the fight, I believe it's good for the sport. But at the same time, seeing Devin Haney get booed in the last round when he had when he broke his shoulder and all that, it's just like, oh, y'all ain't gonna boo KSI and Logan Paul though. Like them guys, Logan Paul hardly threw. He was throwing the same combinations all night. Am I a YouTuber? Am I considered a YouTuber? Because I want that smoke, man. Look, if I don't knock him out, I don't even want the bread. He could have the bread. I'm saying if I ain't not, because they were out here like, Logan Paul was throwing the same combinations all night. He didn't vary his offense. KSI was missing wildly, but Logan Paul could have easily countered to the body. Easy instructions could have won either fight of the night. Just feint.
Yeah.
Feint could have won somebody to fight.
Those are like subtle movements that a lot of people can't do.
Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't see too much skill. I don't know what they've been working on all this long. I believe my man Adam Saleh, he put on a show and stop one of these guys, even though he weighs like 126 pounds. And these do like 200. But that's because they got a lot of just muscle that's not for like a purpose. After 2 rounds, he hardly threw a punch and Logan Paul was already tired. You know what I'm saying? Like Adam Saleh, he fought an MMA fighter for charity, and the MMA fighter was a 160 pounder. Like, you know what I mean? So, and Adam Saleh was like 126, and he still beat him. So
Adam used to fight though.
Adam used to fight, but I'm saying
he's legit.
Yeah, but him, for example, he ain't bad for the sport. But at the end of the day, it brought a lot of attention to the sport. Young cats could have saw that and got like, oh, okay, I'm into this because it's a sport that I didn't know about. You know what I mean? So, how you feel about, that in general and what Shannon Brigg did, because Shannon Brigg looking for all the smoke. He made a commotion, and me personally, I don't want no smoke with the Shannon Cannon. They forgot he a 2-time heavyweight world champion. You know what I'm saying?
He is.
So Shannon slapped a couple people before the fight. He done hyped it up. I believe he sold the fight. He should have got cut for being a promoter also.
I mean,
how you feel about the whole situation and the commotion?
I think that he did. He seemed heavily invested into the fight in there. You know what I'm saying?
The trainer.
Let's go, champ. Let's go. Oh, he was the trainer? Okay,
yeah, he said Logan Paul could be a champion. He said,
I don't. Y'all know how I feel about that. That's garbage. At what weight? What at
cruiserweight?
Cruiserweight,
yeah.
He's gonna be a champion. He'll get bodied the first time he does step up in any kind of competition, because usually like they don't understand the subtleties of boxing. They don't understand the footwork. I heard that they really was just throwing just haymakers the whole time, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna get tired, because just as an example, when you throw a combination, that is the equivalent of doing a sprint or whatnot. So I'm not sure if it's like a 10-yard or whatever, or a 100-meter sprint. I'm not sure, but it's basically when you throw a combination. So that's why when they talk about boxers, they are some of the most highly conditioned athletes that are out there. When they, like a long time ago, at the time, Floyd Mayweather, when they looked at all the athletes across all of the sports spectrum, he was listed as number 2 behind LeBron James, just because of his physicality and all these other things. But even though Floyd Mayweather is somebody who walks around at 150, but they recognize the amount of conditioning and strength that it takes to have somebody hidden against your body constantly, being able to take those punches, but being able to go 12 rounds using your feet. And then they don't understand. So with Floyd, one of his gifts was the fact, it wasn't that he didn't get tired, but that even if he was tired, he still was able to think quickly. And a lot of times when you're tired, your reaction to stuff slow down. He stayed at that same level.
He makes adjustments, and neither fighter made adjustments last night.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it takes experience.
Yeah, I watched the fight, and like I said, Logan Paul was throwing the same combinations over and over, not getting paid. KSI was missing wildly. It's one thing to throw combinations, is the equivalent of a sprint, but this dude was throwing combinations wild as hell, like 2 overhands. Like, I'm like, man, you could easily counter that to the body. You know,
were they utilizing the jab at all?
I mean, Logan Paul was utilizing the jab, but like I said, that's all he was throwing. And KSI, on the other hand, he got a knockdown. It didn't count. And then Logan Paul hurt KSI, but he hurt him with a nice counter uppercut. But then he pushed his head down after that and threw an uppercut. While he was hurt, he you know what I mean, he did knock him down, but he did it illegally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it didn't count as a knockdown, and he got 2 points taken off, which ended up costing him the fight. But like the fact that he's so you know, that he's not informed about the sport, he lacks knowledge, that cost him the fight. An illegal move that if he just followed up after the uppercut with a left hook, he would have been all right. He could have possibly won the fight. He could have possibly stopped KSI because he had him hurt. But because the referee gave KSI all the time he needed, you know, to recover, it ended up costing Logan Paul the fight because he was already tired. Yeah. His only chance of winning was to catch him like the way he did and knock him out. But like I said, he fouled by holding the dude head down and hit him with an uppercut. See, Regan Diaz does that sometimes, but he does it and he don't knock out his opponents. Like when you knock out your opponent, yeah, especially when you already got him hurt, that's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. So, like I said, you already know, split decision. Me or Professor didn't want to smoke straight up. Because like if we're gonna make more than fighters fighting one of them guys, I see why fighters are mad. Like I'm like, man, what's up with that? You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Speaking of the smoke that we want, so this is, for those, if you're your first time viewing, this is CBD oil, was a CBD cigarette that we're smoking and stuff. So this helps you recover. It's totally legal. We're actually looking for a CBD sponsor. So if y'all out there, let us know. But CBD is, when it comes to athletes, they have deals. I think Canopy has a deal with the NHL. Aurora maybe has a deal with UFC. So for athletes, it's something that they clearly testify to, that this does help with recovery.
Yeah, so they know what time it is. CBD is legal here. Now, Devin Haney versus Santiago. It was a good fight. Santiago was 12-0 with only 4 knockouts, but he was a better fighter than people expected him to be. He was long and rangy. The same fighter that gave Lopez a tough fight, and Lopez said it ain't no problem because I'm not gonna fight tall fighters anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, you ain't supposed to say that because you will run across to, tall fighters, but he's saying I'm gonna avoid him. That's what Lopez was saying. However, Devin Haney, I believe he performed better than Lopez against a guy that's tall and had a difficult style for him, especially for a showcase fight that he wanted to have. They should have brought somebody that was more of a brawler that's gonna let his hands fly. Because after Santiago got dropped in the 5th round, I believe, by a counter right hand, like a shoulder roll counter.
Yeah.
He stopped throwing like that,
He did. He was hesitant.
He was very hesitant. But for the people that don't know, because I know a lot of people going to be like, oh, he ain't ready for Lomachenko and all that and all these top guys. But keep in mind, this dude, Santiago, had 170 amateur fights.
No, he was a well-schooled fighter.
You could see that. He had 170 fights, and he only lost 10 fights in the amateurs. So he had 160 win, I heard. So... And Devin Haney wasn't even informed on that. So he was even a better skilled fighter than Devin Haney expected. So that being said, Devin Haney said he broke his shoulder and all that. Now, how you feel about Devin Haney saying that he hurt his shoulder? Is that going to affect
his rotator cuff?
Rotator cuff, yeah.
I mean, that's common for a boxing injury. I actually experienced that because there's so much torque that you have. The human body is just not built to move like that. So with that, I thought Devin showed a lot of good attributes in the fight. Santiago, I thought, did a really good job of countering, particularly with his right hand. And Devin got caught. He was trying to do this kind of roll and then counter, but sometimes when he would roll, he didn't realize how long Santiago was. So that roll did not usually it gets you out of the distance, right? And then you can counter by stepping in a little bit, but because of Santiago's height and his reach, that was something that you have to, until you get into the ring with somebody like that, you're not really prepared for it.
Devin Haney, he always the taller fighter.
That's the thing. I don't think he's gonna fight. I don't want to say that he don't have to worry about it. Like, I don't think he's gonna fight a fighter who is taller than him by a couple of inches. He was
and fights tall, and he very skilled.
Exactly.
Like, got to keep in mind, the only dude that's probably taller than him that he probably run up to, which is a guy he already called out, is Robert Easter. But Robert Easter don't even like to fight tall.
He does.
You got what I'm saying?
I don't. This dude, and he can. I don't. Yeah, that's another story.
But when he fought, Mikey Garcia, is not his forte. Like, he ended up losing that fight too because it's not his forte. He's more of a fighter. So it's kind of his height and reach doesn't benefit him in a way. It would have been better off.
It can benefit
him. He's not his forte to fight like that. But I'm saying with Devin Haney
against Granados, though, that first round, he should have fought that whole fight. You saw that first round when he fought him. He controlled that first round.
Yeah, but sometimes it could be a filler round.
But then it's just that the thing is, like, it takes a strong mental mindset to keep on doing that, right? And if you just lose focus for a second, you're gonna find yourself out there digging. He showed some heart, but I think that he could not only up his game as a boxer, but make fights a lot easier. I mean, but that's But we're talking about Devin Haney.
So, as far as Devin Haney in particular, he a type of fighter that likes to fight tall. He could fight in the inside, but he at his own pace. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he fought a fighter that's taller than him had way longer reach. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of gave him trouble, and he never had to go up against that. So he had to be the aggressor more so, which I believe he did a good job. I give him a B+. He could improve on a thing or two. He got hit like 13%, landed like 40% or 30%, I believe. But he performed well for an opponent that he didn't know on a late notice, and his opponent was gamed. So is Devin Haney ready for the big show, for the big time, like Tank Davis, even the Ryan Garcias of the world that's calling them out? I know he's ready for them guys, but I'm talking about more so Lomachenko and Tank Davis. I'm talking about them guys in particular.
So I think against Tank, he would. I just think with Lomachenko, if Lomachenko was watching the fight, and I know he was.
And now he gonna feel like he's ready.
He is gonna feel like he's gonna be emboldened to kind of take that fight, particularly because the only thing that I mean, there were some other things that we can kind of pick apart, but I didn't like Devin Haney's feet. I thought he was really flat-footed and would just kind of, and I think maybe he was trying to stand.
He was trying to sit down.
He was trying to sit down. And he's doing that a little bit more, but I thought that he could have utilized his feet a little bit better to give him different angles. And then Lomachenko is gonna see that and it's like, oh, I'm gonna capitalize. If he has that what we kind of call heavy feet that looks like you're not light on your feet, then he's gonna say. So don't be surprised if Lomachenko is calling Devin Haney's manager or promoter.
Well, Devin Haney definitely could box off the back foot, but one thing for sure, you know, Lomachenko could have saw that performance, and when fighters say, "Oh, he ain't fought nobody," those are code words of I don't want to fight him. That's just an excuse, because now after he see him perform poorly, if he felt like that was a poor performance and he saw a lot of flaws that he could capitalize on, Lomachenko would take the fight. So the thing about Lomachenko, he worried if Devin Haney is actually a LeBron. If Floyd Mayweather is a Jordan, he worried if Devin Haney is actually a LeBron. And he don't want to take on that risk because he's like, you know what? What if this dude's a LeBron and he come and school me? He don't know his potential yet. He don't know how good he is yet because he ain't have that big step up fight yet. So Lomachenko's waiting to see that and see how he performs. Then he's going to have a second thought. So Lomachenko ain't confident enough to feel like he the best in the world, that he gonna any obstacle he could face. Lomachenko worried like I gotta pick my battles. So we'll see if this performance in particular will give Lomachenko the courage now to step up. Because like I said, Devin Haney fought a stylistically fight that he doesn't favor. A guy taller than him that want to box. He more so want to do that. That's his forte. And he still won the fight. He found a way to win. He won 10 rounds, I believe, and with a knockdown. So obviously he won it very comfortably. But we'll see if Lomachenko now will have the courage after seeing that, you know, to see if he's going to step up. Because this is my problem with this whole franchise thing. Look, listen, the French fries title, this is the funny part. Lomachenko was paying 2% for the WBC title. Now he requested the franchise title. Now he's paying 10%. For the WBC. What make
That's
it
why
worse?
They're giving it away. They're making money.
But what make it worse is, okay, he ain't gonna lose it, but he won it, right? Now let's say he have all the belts, or they fighting for majority of the belts. Him and Comey versus Lopez winner. If Lomachenko wins, they say, oh, he could be undisputed.
He's not.
Right? I know, but I'm saying that's what they saying. Oh, he undisputed because he got the franchise title, right? However, if Comey win or Lopez, they only win 3 titles. They can't win the franchise title. So what is the point?
Yeah,
it's silly.
It's a title that he didn't win the title. He was awarded the title.
So it's something a trophy.
It's something that he can't lose. And I don't know anybody in the sport who respects the franchise title.
Even Deontay Wilder, he showed that he part of the new media. He co-signs new media by saying, "I'm not interested in no franchise title. I want mandatory." So I could have the anticipation and knock him out. That kills the charisma of fighters when they do stuff like that. So Deontay Wilder, basically, he shit on the French fries title. However, we have fighters like Canelo and Lomachenko requesting it. It just showed the different characters and the mindsets of fighters. Canelo and Lomachenko want to maneuver around. Meanwhile, Deontay Wilder, he looking for all the smoke. He ain't trying to maneuver around. He feel like he the baddest man on the planet. So he ain't scared of no smoke. So that's why Deontay Wilder doesn't want the French fries title, and he not interested in it because of them reasons, and them reasons alone.
Nobody respects it. It's some bullshit.
So
and there's not only a little politics that goes into it, but there's some systemic racism that's a part of that. So if anybody over the last decade or so has deserved to have a franchise title, it's somebody like Floyd Mayweather Jr. He's never had that. He hasn't even been like a kind of champion emeritus or something, but this is somebody who has started at 130, came up, won belts all the way up to 154, is undefeated, was a face of boxing for a while, and I've never heard of him being a franchise champion.
What make it worse is they gave this French fries title to fighters that never defended a belt. Canelo Alvarez threw the belt to the trash when he was supposed to fight Gennady Golovkin. He vacated the belt. Same thing when he did to Charlo. So these guys never defended the WBC belt, him and Lomachenko. Lomachenko just won this title off a vacant belt fighting a Luke Campbell. And when you win a vacant belt, you're supposed to defend it against 2 mandatories. That's a requirement for the WBC. So what did they earn to get this French fries title? Like I said, sound like it's a cop-out to me. And that's why I was telling you when you were saying last show that Devin Haney was capping, I was telling you That's not true because at the end of the day, you could say he capping, but he requested the fight. And it was Lomachenko who requested the franchise title to avoid a Devin Haney fight because he didn't want that fight to get in the way. He ain't trying to fight Devin Haney right now. So you got to call it what it is.
So do you think that let me explain when I made that remark. So I think that Devin Haney wants that fight. I will say that, but
you say
I don't think
capping,
that.
man.
Well, listen, I don't think that his people would let him do that. But this is the technique that Bob Arum and Manny Pacquiao used to do. When they had no intentions of fighting Floyd Mayweather, they would go and be like, I want that fight. You know why? Because people are going to go and be like, oh, he wants this fight. He wants to like do this. And then what you do is like, if you're about to have a fight, you say that you want this fight. And then everybody was just like, yo, that's the guy that wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. So now people are going to be like, yo, that's the guy.
Use his name for clout.
Exactly. That's the guy that wants to fight Lomachenko that's calling him out and stuff. When I don't think that his man, so that's why when I said that he's capping, I was like, it is a strategic move. As a boxer, it's different as a boxer. Boxers are not scared of anybody. They want to. I can't think of one boxer who's had any doubt, but their management knows that, you know what, we're gonna do this smartly, you know what I'm saying, in a way that doesn't kind of ruin our product or whatnot. But a boxer's gonna do what he wants to do.
I co-sign that 100%. But Manny Pacquiao is more so like Lomachenko, and Devin Haney is more so like Floyd in this situation. Devin Haney and his team was pushing for the fight. The reason we know that because by their action, Lomachenko team requested the French fries title to avoid the Devin Haney fight. If Devin Haney and his team wasn't pushing for the fight and calling Bob Arum trying to make that fight as fast as possible, Lomachenko would not have requested the franchise title. And that's how we know they was pushing for the fight. And that's what Devin Haney stated. He was like, we were pushing for that fight, and then we just got the WBC handed to us, and Lomachenko team requested it. So what facts state is that Devin Haney and his team was actually requesting the fight. It's just that Lomachenko team, the ones that copped out. That's why I'm saying you got to give fighters the credit they deserve, because Devin Haney, as a youngster, a 20-year-old, calling out all the smoke and calling out a pound-for-pound fighter like Lomachenko, you got to give him his respect. And you got a fighter like Lomachenko who claimed he want to fight a Floyd Mayweather. That's his dream match. And then when he has a fight close to that, like where he actually going to fight a fighter that studied the Floyd Mayweather Philly Shield, he backs out. Like, why would you make that move when you fought fighters that don't have the credibility of Devin Haney, like a Anthony Corolla or a Muriaga? Like, their fighters actually, some fighters were coming off losses he fought when he was supposed to be this pound-for-pound #1 fighter. That's what I'm stating. So, you know what I'm saying? I get your point. But Devin Haney, that support what we talking about, because Devin Haney's actually requesting it. Mm-hmm. Here, I mean, and his team is, they try to push for the fight, and they couldn't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
I respect the arguments. A couple of things. So I would be very hesitant about calling somebody the next Floyd Mayweather. You got to understand that this was a genius in the ring. And just because somebody has quickness and style. So first of all, like, I want to see, Devin has pretty good feet, but Floyd had magical feet. Particularly when he was young and stuff. So remember that we used to call Adrian Broner the next Floyd Mayweather, and a lot of people got egg on their face because of that.
Well, me, people, the Akis know. You know what I'm saying? My brothers know. I was telling people, ain't nobody's Floyd. Like, from AB, no disrespect. AB, that's my man. But at the end of the day, if he was the problem, Floyd Mayweather had the answer to every style. He had the blueprint. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I said that from day one about Adrian Broner and Devin Haney. When Devin Haney dad said that they got the best of Floyd in sparring, I made a whole video breaking it down. And I basically stated, you know, when Floyd Mayweather was 20, when he fought the #1 130-pounder at the time, Hernandez, a lineal champion, he washed him. And he was supposed to lose that fight. And Floyd Mayweather, his accuracy, his speed, his power, his reflexes, his footwork on a whole nother level. And I said that from day one. However, I'm saying Lomachenko keep claiming he wants to fight, or his dream fight is to be a Floyd Mayweather fight. He claims that he want to be as great as a Manny Pacquiao, but he's turning down a Manny Pacquiao, a 40 version of a Manny Pacquiao. He turning down a student of a Floyd Money Mayweather. Like Devin Haney, he the best one that uses the Philly Shield today, looking like, you know what I mean, from all these young fighters that I'm seeing. I'm not saying, that's why I keep stating, we'll see if he's LeBron. I don't feel like he Floyd. Look, records are meant to be broken. Floyd Mayweather say that all the time. We'll see if Devin Haney could do the same. However, I'm just saying, you know, I'm going to give him his credit as far as requesting a fight and want to challenge himself fighting Lomachenko. Either he could do it or not. It's Lomachenko that avoided the fight, just like he avoided the Salido rematch, just like he avoided the Manny Pacquiao fight. So we got to call out Lomachenko for the lacking he doing. He opening himself for critique. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then just I would just, one thing I'll post to you. If you, honestly, like no cafe, no old media versus new media, if you had Devin Haney right now, would you make that fight against Lomachenko?
What do you mean?
Honestly.
What do you mean if I have Devin Haney on top?
No, like if you had him right now, like if that was your fighter, if you had that, like right now, if that was your fighter, would you make that fight?
If I'm his manager, this is me as a manager. I'd be like, Devin Haney, I'm having a conversation with him. I'm like, look, you really want to fight Lomachenko? I'm like, you know that down the line, you probably like could beat the man. You know, right now I'm not saying you can't beat him, but later on you're gonna have a better chance because you're gonna grow into your man strength. He probably respond, I could take him on right now. And he gonna basically say, I don't know how long I can make the 135-pound limit because I gotta move up to 140. So I want to fight Lomachenko now when I could make the 135-pound limit because we already know Lomachenko turned down any fights at 140. He wants no smoke at 140. Yeah. You know, even though he want to be as great as a Manny Pacquiao, I don't see why. But like I said, even though Lomachenko fought his whole career, most of it at 132 in the amateurs, that's only 8 pounds away from 140, but he don't want to do that in the pros. So all I'm saying is if Devin Haney feel like he ready, I'm not going to hold the man away from greatness because if he's able to pull it off at this young age, then I'm be the one holding him back. So I'll let him do it because it's still going to be a learning experience, win or lose. You know, he's still going to be a great fighter, win or lose. Look at Canelo today. Either you better than him or you ain't. You know, it ain't going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Or in the long run, you still got your whole career ahead of you. So I don't have no problem with it.
So I wouldn't do the fight, but I would too. Boxers are prideful. What I would say to him is that, Devin, right now, if we fight Lomachenko, we can make about maybe like $3 million. If you give me time, if you trust me, if we let this build up a little bit, I'm going to like triple or maybe even quadruple that amount. That's how I would pose it to him.
I feel like it's going to be a little bit more as far as money making, but I don't think it's going to be that much more because Lomachenko getting all this push from old media, and where is he at today? He can't even sell in the States. So what's the point of all this promotion and overhyping? They try to erase the loss on his record. That's how far they trying to go. You know what I'm saying? They doing the most they can, and the man still ain't selling, even though he getting all these views, all this publicity, and all this streaming on social media. But where is, his gate? Where is the attention that he bringing fight night? It's not there. And he got to fight these opponents that people want him to see. Like people want to. The reason Floyd Mayweather was the biggest pay-per-view star of all time, he fought the people they wanted him to fight. You know, when he was like, fight Canelo, he fought Canelo. Fight Guerrero, he fought Guerrero. Fight this dude, he fought Ortiz. Fight Mosley, he fought Mosley. He tried to fight Manny Pacquiao, that wasn't his fault. Manny said no to the VADA test. So you got to be a star and you got to live up to that potential. So Devin Haney felt like he ready to live up to that potential now. So you got to give the man his props. That's all I'm saying.
20,
so next topic, man. Hey, so Canelo sells 10K tickets in Vegas. Less than KSI versus Logan Paul. Less than Deontay Wilder. Less than Errol Spence. And he's supposed to be the biggest star in boxing. You keep saying the reason why you're giving him an excuse for ducking Canelo, for ducking my man Charlo, Lines Only, and Andrade is because, those aren't big fights. Well, are you informed that Charlo and Andrade both outsold Canelo Alvarez ticket numbers their last fight? Now, I must point out, too, that obviously they didn't do the same gate because tickets cost a little more. He fights in the MGA. But they still sold more tickets. And even when he fought, I believe, Trout or Kirkland, I don't know which one it is. Kirkland, when he fought in Dallas,
Yeah.
in Texas, he only sold 40,000 plus.
Only?
But I'm saying Canelo, the biggest star in the sport, Errol Spence sold 47,000 tickets. I'm saying he's supposed to be the biggest star. He's supposed to be the biggest star, but these young cats like Errol Spence outselling him. Deontay Wilder, my man, he outselling him. Even KSI, man, stop playing with him. He outsold Canelo Alvarez. So all this promotion, all this money Canelo Alvarez getting from the zone for this deal, is it hurting his brand? Is it hurting his brand, him being stuck on the app because he's being outdo? So what do you got to say to that? Because the reason you said you giving him a pass for ducking Andrade and Charlo is because why? He making history. First of all, according to you, Kirkland was Kovalev was washed up, right?
He was. He was
and he
one
was
foot
washed
out the
up.
door.
So he went and grabbed the free strap. He had a 1 foot out the door. Canelo kicked his ass out the door. So I'm saying he ain't making history because he ain't even selling. Like 10K? It's
still going to the record book. So
if he fight Charlo, answer this. If he fight Charlo and Andrade, wouldn't they sell more tickets?
Then Charlo
headlining by himself.
I mean, so you talking about tickets as far as attendance or views?
Period. Everything.
Be
Be honest with me, Professor Nin.
I think that it matters. Against Charlo, yes. Andrade, I don't know. It depends on how
you don't got to explain it. Yeah, now you can get your points across. I just wanted to see that support my point.
Yeah. I guess Charlo.
So what do you got to say to that?
So.
Him selling 10K.
I think that the Zone did a terrible job of promoting this fight. I think part of it is that they guaranteed Canelo too much money without having the ability to determine his fights, right? So he could go and fight. What was that 168?
Rocky
Fielding or something. And then so they are hemorrhaging money right now. So they were saying that we can't go into this whole rollout and promotion because all the money is going to the fighters. We have a probably close to at least 50 million tied into the fighters when you think about Canelo's purse and when you think about Kovalev's purse in that sense. So they were like, we just going to let the fight sell off of just its merits. This is somebody going for their 4th title, which is only, 16 people in boxing history have done it. Only, I think, 4 Mexican fighters. So when I state history, I'm stating that I'm not saying that it was a historical performance, even though he did get the knockout. We can just need to hear it there.
But I'm saying it matters who you fought. Like going up in weight, like for Manny Pacquiao when he beat Margarito, coming off a loss, and he beat him for a vacant belt at 150, and that's supposedly
that was a handed.
I'm saying that's supposed to be the equivalent of a belt at 154 when he ain't beat a fighter at 154 that was a champion. He fought a fighter that just got knocked out at 147, and they handed him a belt. Like, that's what I'm saying with Canelo. You can maneuver and strategically win belts. Morales critiquing him. Marquez, Chavez, all these guys critiquing him for a reason because he's open for critique.
But you're taking credit away from Kovalev. Kovalev was a legitimate champion. You don't think he was?
He got 1 foot out the door. You said it best. According to you, he was so washed up.
But he still, when Canelo saw that fight against Yarde, he was like, "Oh, this guy. I mean, that's food for me. That's food right there that I'm gonna eat." But he still got the win.
He's supposed to be this pound for pound number 1.
I've never said that.
But that's what he wants to be. That's what he wants to be.
He does.
So to be that, Morales telling them fight the Charlos of the world. Your generational fighters that's in the prime, their prime, you know what I mean? That's gonna be big fights. Like, and it proves that the gate number. Like, I mean, come on, Canelo selling 10,000 tickets. That's horrible for Canelo. That's when they claim he the biggest star in the sport. Then I mean, Deontay Wilder the biggest star now. He could make the claim. Errol Spence. I'm talking about bigger than Canelo because they claiming Canelo is the biggest star in the sport of boxing. AJ's just got knocked out. We don't even know if he's finna be relevant because if he don't win the rematch, then it's a wrap. Like, his career is over. He's finna be another Price, David Price. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying,
I wouldn't go there.
I'm just saying like that's how the Ruiz rematch is that important.
It is
for his career. So all
that
I'm saying
impactful.
is Deontay Wilder looking like he the face of boxing right now, especially him being a heavyweight with all these knockouts and these big rematches that he got coming up with Ortiz on pay-per-view. After that, Fury on pay-per-view. After that, Ruiz on pay-per-view or AJ. Like, man, he got so many big fights ahead of him, and he wants all the smoke. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez got Charlo, Andrade, all these big fights, Sandra's, all these 168-pounders calling him out. Every fighter calling him out, and he even Benavidez calling him out, and he's not answering nobody call. So all I'm saying, what's his next move? He about to fight somebody again that's not a risky fight, like a Gennady Golovkin, who just literally lost his last fight to Deryachenko. Is he gonna fight that? Oh yeah, I'm gonna fight who y'all want me to fight. I'm gonna fight Gennady Golovkin, because he making this whole commotion about Gennady Golovkin, trying to act like he don't want the fight. The fans want it, but he don't want it because he already settled the score. But the problem with it is we don't even want to see the Gennady Golovkin fight. Like, why are you lying? Like, we don't want to see that fight either. We want to see the Charlo fight, the Andre, Benavidez, Ward out of retirement if you're willing to pay that man the money he deserves and earn. You know what I'm saying? If you're not about to do that, quit claiming you pound for pound number one.
So I think, and I'm not happy about it, but if I had to put my money on it, I think that Canelo is gonna go to 168 and he's gonna fight Billy Joe Saunders.
Because after his performance, that's what I'm saying. Again, he fights fighters after their worst performance, aka what Manny Pacquiao used to do. Like when he fights people after catchweights or horrible performances, like Margarito when he fought him after getting knocked out by Sugar Shane Mosley. When he fought Sugar Shane Mosley, Sugar Shane lost to Floyd. And he didn't want to fight Sugar Shane before he lost to Floyd. That's what Canelo is doing today. He fighting all these fighters way out the door, like Morales said, which I was stated in the last episode. And he's also fighting fighters that kind of looking bad in their last performances, like Billy Joe Saunders, who got tested positive for steroids and turned down the Andre fight himself. Now he's, in the past, he stated he's boring. So if he has one horrible performance and you fight him, kind of like when Pacquiao jumped on the Keith Thurman opportunity, even though Pacquiao was old, you more so in your prime, you got no excuse but to fight the best. You're getting guaranteed purses. And you still don't have the cojones to hop in the ring with the real fighters that fans want to see you against. Like, Professor M, you should call Canelo. Like, Canelo, man, you're making it hard for me to defend you.
That's not my boy. That's not my boy.
No, but I'm saying you might want to give him a call. Tell him, man, it's hard for me to defend you when you out here avoiding the best. Like, you might want to just fight Charlo or Andre, then I could defend you. If you give him that call, he probably make the fight happen.
I think that's going to be both of those, one or two of those. I don't know the order, are definitely his toughest fights out there. And I think he realizes that. But I still think I still think to build it up, I would love to see them fight each other. That would kind of clear out some of that. Then nobody would be able to argue about Charlo, because there's a lot of people who comment about Charlo's lack of any kind of record at 160.
But that's a hard thing to do, because obviously Charlo is with Showtime and the other fighter, Andre, is with the Zone, and that fight is not big enough for the networks to join or one fighter to leave the network. But for a Canelo fight, it is worth it for Charlo to leave. Like, he willing to, because
if it leads to a Canelo fight,
he will tell Showtime, like, bye. Canelo offered me a fight. I mean, I'm taking over there. I don't care what y'all got to say. But when it comes to Andre, he already on the Zone with Canelo. That's his stablemate. It's an easy fight to make. Making a fight with Charlo and Andre politically is hard to make because it's not big enough yet. That's just how the sport of boxing works. Look at Crawford and Errol Spence. That's another example of that fight can't happen.
They can make that fight if they want to.
But the PBC got all this option with Errol Spence. They like, man, let's make our money until he's so big that we're going to get all the majority of the purse against Crawford. We're going to make it happen then. That's how they're looking at it. It's the networks that's dictating, not the fighters.
Well, that to me that sounds a bit of like an argument for Canelo, because you're saying that
how is it for Canelo?
Because you're saying that with Crawford, they're saying, okay, or with Errol Spence, whoever, all like let's let that build up, like let it get big. And then with Canelo, he could make that same excuse, because with Andre,
let's
he's gonna
do that.
Okay.
Let's make that same excuse. Errol Spence is out here fighting the best at the PBC. He willing to fight Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia. He's just fought Sean Porter. Meanwhile,
well, he wants all that. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
He the boogeyman.
He wants the Terrence Crawford's fight. Smoke also is just that it's across the street, right? Meanwhile, Canelo, the reason he's not cut from the same cloth as Errol Spence is because he don't want to get all the straps. He claimed he want to be undisputed. Andrade is on the same network as him, and he didn't want to fight him for undisputed. That's my problem with him. You get what I'm saying?
Not unified. It'll be unified.
They in the same shoe, but if the shoe fits where it, Canelo, he fit in the shoe of a champion. He was like, man, I'm not cut for this. I'm going to keep maneuvering and doing what I'm doing. So your point, you proved what I was saying all along.
We both agree that the Charlo is the bigger fight. And the reason is for a reason because there's not too many notable wins that Andrade has on his record. He ain't willing to fight
Charlo. He gave up the belt. And he ain't willing to fight Andrade for undisputed when he had all the belts. All he was missing is that strap that Andrade had, and he could have went and grabbed it because they were both with his own. So that's what I'm saying. It don't matter how you look at it. It don't matter what kind of excuses you try to make for Canelo. You can't. So why you don't call Canelo? Tell him, man, you're making it hard for me.
What I'm saying is like I'm trying to give people insight into boxers thinking and stuff. So it's not kind of excuse. I'm saying like this is what he's doing to kind of maneuver.
To maneuver, exactly.
But
so
with that,
ducking. You don't want to admit
I mean,
is he ducking?
If he's ducking, then Charlo's ducking.
Okay, so is he ducking? Because you said Charlo ducking. You already said that. I'm saying is Canelo ducking?
Duck season.
Is Canelo ducking?
Ducking who? Which one? Who?
Charlo or Andrade?
Charlo Andrade. He is.
You done walked yourself to a corner.
I like euphemisms out there. You know. So maybe
this is my
argument. So what I'm saying is that they are not in the same position. Canelo, even though with his numbers that were a little kind of tepid, I still think he is the top draw in boxing.
Don't try to dance around
I still
the question.
Think he's the top draw in boxing.
Don't dance around the question. You like a baby crawler right now. You ain't dancing with me.
I'm good.
I'm saying you if this Dancing with the Stars, you ain't dancing with me. I'm out here being Chris Brown, and you I'm out here being breezy. But I'm saying, what's up with you? You put yourself in the corner.
I'm good.
Is he avoiding or not? You keep saying strategically avoiding him. That's another word of ducking. So you're just trying to be nice. Quit trying.
This is something
nice.
that this
Why
is something I say. I think
energy?
so. I actually think he's gonna fight Charlo.
Okay,
I think he's gonna fight Charlo. I think it's gonna happen next year. I think he's gonna come and he wants to. First of all, he wants to see Charlo fight again. He wants to see Charlo make a little bit of a name for himself. With Andrade, I don't think he's gonna fight Andrade. Andrade's a little bit longer. He's awkward. He's left-handed. He doesn't have that strong of a following. Well, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't. I was saying I like watching him fight. Because I like just the nuances of his game and his skill level. He is a well-schooled fighter. But a lot of people, those are the same people who say that Floyd Mayweather runs when he fights.
Talk to me. That's what I'm saying. I don't care about them people. I'm saying I want you to keep the same energy with Canelo that you're keeping with Charlo.
Oh.
You saying he ducking.
Charlo not the cash cow.
You saying he ducking, but you ain't trying to say Canelo is ducking. What's up with that?
Because he not the cash cow. I think
so.
That
if you're a cash cow, you could duck.
It is.
I
think when you the cash cow, then you set the terms. You do all, and then if you have that leverage, Floyd did it.
He had the leverage with Kovalev. He made him fight at a catchway, all that.
He did.
I'm saying use the leverage against Charlo and Andrade. But I'm saying just fight them. I don't care if you use the leverage.
He's gonna fight
Canelo.
Them.
If you talk
he's
about
them.
You said you're trying to get them to understand the mindset of a fighter. I'm gonna give you the mindset of Canelo, man. These guys, they too good for me, man. They're trying to get smoked out here. The only way for me to win is to rob one of these fighters, and I'm tired of robbing fighters with the judges. And if they knock me out, what I'm gonna do then? And if they school me every round, I'm gonna look bad. It's another Floyd Money Mayweather saga. What did I learn from that fight? That's what Canelo Alvarez. That's the mindset for real. If you want to talk about his mindset. Now, personally, I like Canelo. I've been supporting him my whole life, but I gotta call it what it is. He leave himself open for criticism. he open for critique because he claimed he pound for pound number one. He say he want to be undisputed. He says all these right things, but his action speaks another. So I could care less what you say. I care more so what you do. And he's not doing what he's supposed to do inside that ring. Like, and fighting the Charlos of the world, the Andre of the world, that he having men's like you, that you support him and all that, you ready to die for him. You know what I'm saying?
What is
he
you
have
talking?
you.
That's
you
not
done,
even like that.
you
That
done-
ain't even one of my favorite fighters.
I'm saying you done digged your own grave,
No,
and you
I'm
about to,
good.
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
good. I'm about to put somebody in it. I'm
And
good.
now you about to put Canelo in it.
I'm like-
Hey, show
I'm
him
like,
that
I ain't
holy
digging my
shoe real
grave.
quick.
Oh,
Do that.
yeah.
Stop playing with his drip. So I'm saying you got all that nice shoe that you gonna kick Canelo Alvarez with. Because you have no choice. Canelo Alvarez didn't give you no choice. All these excuses you were making for him, you got no more excuses. You didn't got stuck in the corner and you like, man, keep the same energy.
You-
And you
yeah,
like, I don't know, I ain't gonna
I'm
keep
like
the same
Floyd
energy.
in the corner. I'm like Floyd in the corner because I'm coming with that little counter uppercut.
But you was Mike Tyson against Charlo. But now you being Floyd Mayweather in the corner against Canelo. Come on, man. Stop playing. Just stop playing with me. But as far as Canelo Alvarez, now the next topic is the WBC increased the computer roll limit for the VADA testing that the Mexican fighters gonna get to take, because they claim like 10 to 12 fighters from Mexico got busted for this computer roll thing, and they not dirty. It's just that that's the meat they eating, because the meat is contaminated. But I'm saying stop eating that meat. Like Canelo, for example, he got enough money to buy a whole farm. He got enough money to buy his own sheep. Don't he claim he the GOAT? Well, if you the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? Go get you a goat that's clean. Quit not inject it. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying, now I got to clear this up as far as the fight being fixed and all that. Because, you know, we got a lot of backlash the last episode. I must clear this up. I don't think it was a fix. I was just bringing up the points, how shady it was. Because at the end of the day, as far as the votes, more people voted for it being a fix than being legit. There was fighters like Andre Berto, Trout, Badu Jack. A lot of fighters came out saying it was a fix, right? Not just that, they had commercials of Canelo Alvarez being a 4-time world champion before he became that, before the fight. Like, how you gonna have
that's not part of it. So it's just
but let me finish.
go ahead.
That's why I was stating that. I'm just saying, I was just pointing out, like, this looked fishy and how the fight played out and all that, which we talked about it. Check it out if you don't know. So I was just pointing out the fact, not saying, you know what I mean, I believe it's a fix, I'm boycotting it. Nah, I'm not saying all that. I was just pointing out how fishy it was. You even had a guy like Ego, part of the new media movement. Him and Dante started this whole new movement. Shout out to Ego one time. You know, he was bringing it up also because he saw what I was seeing. And obviously, Ego, one of the most reliable media members on YouTube. You know, him and Dante started this new media movement that I'm a part of too. And Dante gave me the opportunity to post on his platform. So I'm just clearing this up because, you know, I'm not saying it was fixed, but it was shady.
Yeah, and I also want to clear, because I kept on bringing it up. I was like, you weren't saying that during the fight. But I did go back and watch our stream, and you did comment. What you did was, he was like, man, he doesn't have an authoritative jab.
He was just
you were saying that, but
pat punches.
Yeah, so part of me is like, I'm protecting the sport that I love. I'm protecting the integrity of that, because all of those things tear at the fabric of the sport. But also, Buddy McGirt, if you go back and listen to an interview, he said, you know what, like, I went and reviewed some of Coales's tapes, and particularly when he used to fight in the amateurs, and he used to move a lot. He used to do that. And then I thought that, you know what, because Canelo has some quick, hard counters. Yeah, he has some quick, hard counters. And I thought that their game plan was just that we're just gonna, you know, score here, you know, do that. But he did have some punches where he did catch Canelo, because I saw our reaction. We were just like, oh.
Yeah, but I know, right? But he didn't follow up. Normally, when he catch somebody, he all of them. But as far as the amateur style, that's when he had his leg. Kovalev is washed up. He at the end of his career.
He showed some good. He showed some all right legs.
I'm just saying that's why he was gassed out too, because he was moving around too much. He was throwing pity pat punches all night, then throw hard punches, stiff punches, and that's just not Kovalev. Normally, like, I'm not asking him to throw a left hook. Like I was saying in the live reaction, I'm not asking him to throw a check hook like Mayweather.
He doesn't even have the mechanics to do it.
Where is the jab, the stiff jab, the straight right following up by a straight cross. Where was that against Canelo? That's all I was saying. But as far as what you think about the WBC increasing the limit for these Mexican fighters to basically allow them to cheat. Because I don't know if you know, that's another subject we're bringing up in a little bit, but Chavez obviously said no to the VADA testing, and they moved to a different state against Jacob, which is not fair, but the zone doing everything just like they did with Dillian White. Yeah, and Canelo Alvarez obviously failed the test in the past, and, now they're increasing the computer roll limit. So, I want some of that contaminated meat if I'm a fighter, because it's going to help me lean out and have more stamina, and I'm going to still have the same effect that steroids give you. So why would y'all make that? Y'all basically allowing these fighters to cheat, because I don't know if you know, even my man Saddam Ali, when he lost to Vargas turned down the VADA test. He said no to it, and he was unwilling to fight Saddam Ali with the VADA test. And
he actually showed some good power in that fight.
And, he had a lot of acting in behind his back and on his chest. So that's what I'm saying. They basically allowing these fighters to cheat. And because Mexican known for boxing, so what y'all gonna allow Mexican fighters now kind of to have a head or a 10-second start in a race? You're not supposed to do that.
Not only that, they're just kind of known for some shady practices, whether it's the scoring of the fight or some other different kind of regulations.
In Texas with Chavez, Senior, remember that? Canelo today, you have to knock out Canelo in order to win. It's already hard already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already hard to beat Canelo because you have to fight Canelo and the judges. You ain't just fighting Canelo. And now they making it where Canelo Alvarez now could take this computer roll, and now he ain't gonna get busted for it. Why? Because it's in the meat. It's contaminated. Oh, them tacos too good. I'd rather eat them tacos that have something injected in them because they taste better when I work out, when I'm tired. So all I'm saying is, what's up with the WBC? The franchise title was first, and now it's contaminated limit that they done increased for the VADA testing. What's up with that? What's your take on it?
It's bullshit. So if anybody knows about the WBC, they have been controlled for the last few decades by the Suleiman family, essentially, who they are, and they have been known to
Suleiman. That's what Tyson Fury keeps saying. I'm the lineal champion since Solomon.
Yeah.
Man, I thought that was a tuna or something, man. So Solomon.
Well, not what like Suleiman. So like Suleiman is like the WBC. Yeah, Suleiman is like the WBC. Like now I think it's his son. But they have been. If you go and look up the history and the shady practices of it, and I'm not somebody who get into conspiracy theories, but a lot of times it does favor Mexican fighters or fighters of Mexican descent, and they're probably one of the. There's corruption in boxing, but they're one of the most corrupt organizations, and it's BS. Listen, when you step into that ring, particularly through a long 12-round fight, you leave a piece of yourself in that ring. So you have to. So to me, I think that there is no room for any type of performance enhancing drugs in there.
Period.
That's a sport where you can walk in that ring and be carried out.
Especially after fighters died in the ring, like Patrick Day and all these fighters that's passing a week apart from each other, and then they make that move after they made the French fries title to kind of help fighters avoid we need more titles in boxing. You know what I'm saying? If you count all the titles, we got the WBA super title, we have the WBC franchise title, interim title, diamond title. What we have in each division? 10 titles? Like, come on now. We're trying to clear the sport. And they confusing the sport. They even try to add the lineal title where they make it like a belt, like a champion. Like, come on now, this has to stop. And that's why Deontay Wilder, I got so much respect for him, because he came out and boycotted basically the WBC franchise title. And that's why he the champion of the people. Because
respect to Deontay
champ.
Wilder.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder. That's my man all day.
He's an old school fighter. Well, he has an old school boxing mentality. He would take on anybody. Dangerous fights that are.
When he don't have to.
When he don't have to.
We don't have to. When he could take any on Brazil and knock all these cats out, and people will praise him all day because he ain't fighting the Wallen, Tom Schwartz. He's actually fighting contenders that's ranked. But he chose to fight Ortiz, the boogeyman of the division. That's AJ mess. He cleared AJ ass up because AJ was ducking Ortiz. And he fought Ortiz for him and knocked him out. And now he fighting him again.
To be fair, Ortiz was offered that fight against AJ.
No, not that go round.
Okay.
Before that, because he was offered that, but he already had the rematch with Wilder guaranteed. We just didn't know about it, so he couldn't take the AJ fight. Plus, they were offering him less money, so he like, you know what?
And that's what I heard.
Why would I do Deontay Wilder?
I heard there was an issue with the money. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but the first time when he was undefeated before he fought Deontay Wilder, he was the mandatory for AJ.
Yeah.
And Klitschko requested that belt. That's the only way he was willing to fight AJ. And AJ told Ortiz, "Hey, if you let us fight for that belt, it's vacant. I'm a fight you after that." And then he didn't fight him after that. And Eddie Hearn ended up, giving Ortiz the pass to leave because he didn't fulfill the contract. So what I'm saying is, he avoided AJ, and Deontay Wilder had to clean up that mess. Deontay Wilder tried to fight Klitschko. Deontay Wilder tried to fight Tyson. All these guys, and Deontay Wilder doesn't get the credit, even though he's this knockout artist and all that.
No, listen, I think so. I've been one of the biggest critics of Deontay Wilder, particularly not him, but his boxing style. I just have a lot of issue with it.
It's entertaining.
It is, but it lacks a lot of technique.
Well, how more technical is Ortiz than him? And
Ortiz is he's a Cuban fighter, and those guys are very technical.
And what happened
I'm talking
to him?
about? Well, yeah, I mean he's got that. He's got that eliminated. But yeah, but what I wanted to say was that I wanted to give him, credit in the sense. I think that by the end of 2020, if he can get these people into the ring to fight him, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be the biggest,
baddest,
the biggest fighter out there, and the biggest bad. And then with boxing, its popularity, it so goes with the heavyweight division. So if the heavyweight division is the attention out there, and it hasn't got it to that point, but I think with fights against the winner between AJ and Ruiz, this fight against Ortiz, particularly if he does this thing, I think he has the opportunity in 2020 towards the fall to capture the public's attention and be one of the biggest stars, not just boxing stars, but one of the biggest, and actually turn into a superstar fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Deontay Wilder, the face of boxing. He the most famous boxer in the world today, according to ESPN. So, I mean, he already could make the case now, but like you said, when he become undisputed, man, it's a wrap. Now, as far as Deontay Wilder, man, bow to you. I respect Deontay Wilder for we got to salute my man. You know what I'm saying? Respect all day, because he part of the new media, because he co-signed everything we've been saying. Man, I made a point right in the past. I told people, look, if Tyson Fury wanted to smoke with Deontay Wilder, then if he really wanted to smoke, right? Even though he don't, he wouldn't have turned down the rematch, because his excuse was, well, he had this big deal with ESPN, and now we see what it was, is fighting some bums and go to the WWE. But he could have had a bigger deal if he won the rematch and had a title, and he could have won a lot of money off the rematch. He could have won $40 million off that rematch, right? So what I'm saying is, he turned down all that and chose to go to ESPN. So Deontay Wilder brought the same point, word for word. That's how you know I ain't just reporting. I key out here preaching. You know what I mean? So stop playing with him. So Inoue, after the fight, we're going to talk about him versus
yes, sir.
We're going to talk about him for a little bit. But since we was just mentioning the WBC and all that, Inoue, after the fight, after his victory, they raised his hand, and the WBC tried to hand him a belt. And he was like, nah. So what's up with that? Is he part of the new media movement too?
I like Inoue. I give him so.
But what's up with what you think his move?
Yeah, so I think that he's somebody that he doesn't want anything handed to him. He wants to earn everything that goes to him, and then you can only respect that. I think that he has an opportunity to be a superstar. The guy, his nickname is the Monster, and it's for a good reason. He is a diminutive Japanese fella that has bone-crushing power.
Now, how you feel about how the WBC look, having Wilder doing that, having Terrence Crawford turning down this franchise title, having Inoue now, how it makes the WBC look? I mean, now they're trying to say that the WBC might have to give up away with his title, and it makes Canelo and Lomachenko look that worse because they requested it, and now look at them.
Because
boxers. How you feel about the WBC now? Like
No,
credibility
I've always had an issue with it. The thing is that the green belt has been one of the most recognizable belts. It has a storied history. A lot of people want it, but it's been mismanaged. There's been corruption. And then I like the boxers that are understanding their power now. They're just saying that, you know what, I'm not gonna legitimize this organization because y'all are on some BS. And then I respect the hell out of boxing for it because I do want to see the WBC recapture their credibility. And then that's it. And then so I love what Wilder's doing. I love what Inouye's doing. Like that is what like show that you have the power, and then stop letting these sanction bodies control the sport when you're the one that's in the ring. You're the one that the people are coming to see. They're not coming to see this organization. They're coming to see the boxers that represent these organizations.
We want to see the best versus the best, period. Like just in all sports. And WBC ain't helping us achieve that. And who I respect the most is IBF because they enforce their mandatory. They go by their rules no matter what, if you're a superstar or not. So I respect the IBF all day. Now, Inoue had a great classic fight with Donaire. Yes. Now, I told y'all I'm looking forward to this fight because obviously, let's tell it how it is. Even though Inoue, my guy, I mean, I got to tell you straight up, after watching that Donaire fight, it was such a classic fight that fight in particular, one of my favorite fights. Inoue, the way he throws punches is so sharp and accurate and so fast and have power and bad intentions behind it. It just remind me of Pretty Boy Floyd for some reason. The way he throws punches. Not saying he's as good as Floyd, defense, offense, none of that. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying how sharp the punch is. Like how Floyd was so sharp and accurate with the punch, doesn't telegraph and all that. I see that in Inoue. For some reason, he reminds me of a Manny Pacquiao coming up, like his hunger, the way he throws punches. He let punches fly. He not worried about what's coming. I love the way Inoue fights, one of my favorite fighters, period. But I got to do my job and hold the fighters accountable because not me, but a lot of people were claiming he pound for pound potential. A lot of people had him on the top 5 list and all that.
Remember, I think he was my number 5.
Okay, so you got to gauge him on where people have him at. This is not hating. That's called doing your job, right? Now, Inoue, I believe he's on the top 5 pound for pound. A lot of people have him on that list. So how he performed versus Donaire, and I was kind of disappointed a little bit because I was expecting a little more out of him dominant-wise because Donaire lost to Rigo when he was in his prime. He got washed by Rigo, right? Moved up to fight Walters.
And got
smashed. Moved down and lost to, what's my man that's a southpaw that schooled him? I forgot his name, but I believe it was, hold on, let me I'm gonna pull it up real quick. He lost to him in a dominant fashion. And I was just like, Donaire kind of washed. Yeah. And then he lost to Frampton after that. Yeah, so it was just kind of like, man, I thought Inoue was going to be a little more dominant than what he showed in the ring against Donaire because Donaire is a former himself.
Him out. Yeah, I thought he was going to knock him out.
Yeah, so, the guy name is Jesse. Jesse washed Donaire. He was outboxing him, outclassing him. Donaire looked just like he was over for him. You know what I mean? He came back, lost to Frampton. And then he broke Inoue nose, broke his eye socket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cut him in the face, over his eye. And I mean, it was just, I didn't like what I saw because I thought Inoue was going to be a little better defensively. Offensively, I mean, the man is sharp. Sometimes he wild, but the man is sharp. Got power, go to the body, go to the head, entertaining to watch. But I believe defensively he lacking a little bit. And he kind of be sleeping a little bit in the ring because you got to be focused 24/7 because any punch could end your night. Now, Donaire in his prime, he could have possibly pulled this off.
Oh, absolutely.
At 118, he was sleeping people with that left hook, and he landed
he was a pound for pound fighter.
Yeah, and Rigo destroyed him. So I would like to see Rigo, a washed up version of Rigo today versus like a Inoue because Rigo still
that would be interesting.
Rigo still have a little bit more of himself, more than Donaire, in my opinion. So I would love to see that fight. So how you see that fight? Because even though he showed heart, character, going back and forth with Donaire. Donaire was there all night. Shout out to Donaire for that great performance that he showed in the heart. But at the end of the day, he kind of he got hit too much. I'm not trying to say exposed because he showed some element that shows that you're a good fighter, and he had that factor. But at the end of the day, he lacked in the defensive department. So what to say?
No, he did. I thought it was a good win. So I'm a big fan of Inoue, and in the fights, part of it is just that he usually destroys his opponents. He reminds me a little bit, not in the style at all, but of a young Prince Nassim when you feel his punches, like you can just see how like people react to it. Just like this is power I haven't felt before.
Yeah,
so
but
he's
I
been
don't know if it's to that
particularly
extent. He has more like speed
well, he's
a little bit.
shown. I mean, it's speed, but he's been watching guys. I'm talking about within
But
the
who
first
are
two
these
rounds.
guys, though? Like
the first two
when he
rounds,
fought Donaire, the first time he fought Donaire, that's Donaire, the only name we know on his record.
No.
And now he like I don't know about
he
all that.
he fought a champion from England.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as Donaire, we all know he washed up. Like that's a fact. Like he didn't look too good his previous fights and all that, and he gave Inoue a fight, man. Like
he did.
It wasn't just a walk in the park for Inoue. So I'm saying I'm not too impressed with Inoue. I want to see how he gonna look against a live opponent because this was for the Ali Trophy. I don't know if Donaire was supposed to be in the ring against Inoue for the Ali Trophy.
No,
he's just two-way. He's like more of a during his Kovalev stage right now.
But he knocked out his last opponent who was in the tournament.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Donaire.
Like maybe the tournament was a little shaky if Donaire is making it to the finals. Looking back, him losing to Frampton and Jesse, you know what I mean? So I'm saying this is not the same Donaire back in the day. This is the Donaire former himself. A shell of himself in a way. So I would love to see Inoue versus a Rigondeaux, versus a live opponent at 122 or 118 or wherever they fighting at. That's gonna show me that okay, he the real deal because I can't put him on the top 5. Even though you don't understand, he one of my favorite fighters. I watched that Donaire fight like 5 times already, but it's just the fact that
it was a good fight.
The way he looked against Donaire and he was supposed to just watch him. And I'm going to have to step back a little bit. I got to see a little more. Now, as far as his injury, do you see that affecting him in the future?
You got to think about it. People when you break your eye socket, that's you're going to get hit in this area a lot. So that's going to be kind of sensitive. And then once you fracture something, it's never the same. It does recalcify. I'm not sure the same term. So it's supposed to make it stronger, but you have to allow enough time for it to be able to heal. So that's something that he has to think about. All right. So Kell Brook was pretty much never the same. I don't think once Triple G broke his eye socket
against Errol Spence. But Errol broke the other eye socket.
The Errol broke his other one. So I don't know if it made it more sensitive. But he was, actually, I was the one I think I claimed that he did some good work against Errol. Against Errol Spence.
He just need to take a little time off. I want to say like a year will be great. I mean,
a year. He might have to. He might have to take off a year.
He can still work on a couple of things. He just don't need to spar like that. But he could work on throwing punches. He could still stay in shape. But I knew he definitely one of the best talent coming to the.
He still got the win, and I'm still a fan of his. It was a learning lesson. I actually thought he was going to knock out Donaire. That's what I was expecting.
I mean,
and then Donaire hurt him a couple of times. A lot of people were talking about, man, there's something wrong with Inoue. He's not doing. I'm just like, Donaire has legitimate power.
Yeah, but the thing is, Donaire's accuracy and his athletic ability ain't no longer there.
His speed is not there. But at the same time, what's the last thing to go?
Power. No, Inoue showed he got a chin for sure. I mean, Inoue, that's one thing he showed. But I'm just saying his lack of defense. That's why I didn't like.
He needs to clean it up. I don't think that he overwhelms his opponents so much. I don't think he has to. But I don't want to stop reiterating that Donaire was impressive.
Rigondeaux right now, watch the version of him. If he fight his fight, like Rigondeaux goes in the ring just trying to win, or Inoue.
I think that. I love Rigondeaux. I think that he's taking too much punishment, so I'm still going to go with Inoue. And the problem is like Rigondeaux's. I think his legs are gone.
Now, I mean, if Rigondeaux, I don't know if his legs gone.
I think his legs are gone.
But I'm saying if he fights the same way he fought his last fight, which was toe to toe, he said he did that because he wanted to show the fans an exciting style. Like, nah, man.
I don't think so.
It's damn if you do or damn if you don't. They don't care. They don't like you regardless because of how you look like. So Regan Diaz, if he fight his fight and he's able to fight Inoue, boxing, moving around and all that,
if he can,
I favor him. I think he wins.
If he can still do that, I don't think he
because
can do
he
it.
got the power to sleep people. He gonna walk you to something. But
well, he's so sharp and accurate. He's one of the most accurate fighters that I've seen. His counters are just on point from there. Who's that call you? Regan Diaz?
No, my mom.
That's WBC.
No, the mom called me.
They like, why you bad mouthing me? Look at him. It's just like, but
hey, you
so,
see what I'm out here smoking, so you know I don't want all the smoke. But it's all respect. I just want to make boxing better again. We want boxing to be great again.
I would love to see that fight against Regan Diaz. I think that Regan Diaz might get slapped. He's been dropped before in fights.
Now, yeah, I mean, Inoue could win. I'm just saying, I favor Regan Diaz. Well, if he moves and he's still his former self, Inoue gonna be so aware. I mean, he ain't gonna be throwing. He ain't gonna be Pacquiao. He ain't gonna be throwing all the punches. I promise you that. So that being said, I would love to see the fight. If Regan Diaz don't have his footwork no more, he ain't gonna be able to fight in the pocket with this dude. I'm telling you. But other than that,
them body punches, like he has debilitating body punches.
But Regan Diaz defense, he's sharp. I mean, even with Lomachenko when he lost that fight, he got hit like 9% or 8%. Like he only thing Lomachenko was landing was that jab. Now
I think that right hook, which is just I think that right hook caught him a couple of times.
Yeah. So on to the next subject. Chavez said no to VADA. They came to test him. He was like, man, nah, I ain't doing all that. Now, basically, I believe the commission suspended him from that state. They fighting in a different state versus Jacob December. I believe coming December the fight will be taking place. But the problem is, like, how y'all gonna let a dude cheat? Basically, like, if he was clean, he would have took the test. The reason he don't want to do VADA testing is because he apparently clean, and that's why the WBC out here increasing the computer roll limit and stuff for fighters like Chavez and Canelo to get away with it. Now, Chavez, man, that was so disappointed to hear that the zone is going to go on with it. And Jacob already put it out there like, listen, you know, the fight is on, but if he's not, we have somebody that's going to step up to the table, and that's, I believe, Rosado. But, I mean, it's going to be a good fight for Jacob, and I want to see him versus Canelo, but I don't want to see, not Canelo versus Chavez, but I don't want to see my man basically get cheated on almost. Like, Chavez out here juicing up, fighting a guy beat cancer, but he gonna fight a dirty fighter? Really? That's what the sport turned into?
I think over his career, Chavez has shown that he's been a lazy fighter. He's been entitled, and this is just another example of some BS, some bullshit. Shout out to Jacobs, man. I hope that they don't put you into a dangerous predicament. But
well, they already did that.
Like,
they already did that.
Chavez, like you.
They did that already. I mean, they're not getting VADA tested, and they moved the fight to a different state. So we'll see if what will happen from this point on. I mean, if they already let it go, I don't see him stopping the fight unless Chavez get tested for taking too much steroids, where he can't even hide it no more. You know what I mean? But he could definitely get away with taking anything now because it's not VADA testing. As long as you got the right people behind you, you're good. Now, our next topic. Ring Magazine came out. They have Canelo pound for pound #1. Obviously, last week, I was like, man, even Ring Magazine, Canelo, yeah, they don't even have you as pound for pound #1. You out here claiming that you pound for pound #1. Now, I believe you said Marquez said something nice about Canelo.
I was surprised.
What did Marquez say? Because I gotta hear this.
So he was getting interviewed by Radio Raheem, and a lot of people probably don't. A lot of people don't know. But Marquez actually speaks pretty good English.
I'm impressed. That's what Canelo should do. He be a star.
Yeah.
That's why he ain't selling no tickets, because people don't. Man, I don't never watch Canelo interviews because he don't speak English.
But part of it, so I don't think it was lost in translation, but Radio Raheem asked if he felt that Canelo was the greatest. Like, after this victory, do you think that Canelo is the greatest Mexican champion? And then he said, I do. Like, I agree with that.
The greatest
Mexican champion.
Like, coming from Mexico? Like, during this time or all the time?
He didn't have those qualifiers, but I thought he just meant the greatest Mexican champion ever.
I don't know.
And
It might be lost in translation because Marquez
Hopefully
in
it
particular was one of Canelo's biggest critique.
He was.
Said Canelo, they go so way back, like their beef go way back. Canelo said, I want to spar you. You keep talking shit about me. How about we spar? And that's how Canelo taking it so personal. Marquez telling him, yo, just fight these people. Like he's telling him, he critiquing his resume. He critiquing him fighting older guys and stuff.
And he has been critical. And even with Canelo missing, there was a fight where he had missed weight or had like some weight problems. And then, Marquez was like, this guy is not disciplined. He's doing this. And he felt that he was this pampered champion.
And he's not the only one though. Morales did the same thing. We talked about it last show.
That's why I was surprised. When I saw it, I was like, I don't agree with that. But Marquez, so you can go look at the, shout out to
Radio right here.
Yeah, we're not going to head, send all of them shout out to them.
What do you mean? To this day, he know what time it is. Hey, man, if y'all don't know, Google that shit. Radio right here, what's up, man?
Yeah, to this day. To this day.
To this day, hey.
But with that said, he asked the question, and Marquez responded that.
All right, well, that's what I was wanting to get. But
even over him.
Marquez is shocking to me because, like I said, Marquez, he was just critiquing Canelo about him not fighting nobody and stuff. So I don't know how he gonna, change her heart. Maybe they did spar and Canelo sparked them real quick. But now Canelo got named number one. But I'm gonna make this case. Obviously, I'm gonna say Crawford all day. So Crawford, I believe he's number one pound for pound over Canelo and Lomachenko and anybody you name. I'm gonna give you the reasons why.
Okay.
Name me, who you think pound for pound number one?
So I used to kind of hedge my bets and whatnot, but I really had Lomachenko because I thought that his record was better than Terence Crawford. But because of this franchise bullshit, I got Terence Crawford. But because I don't like that, it's bad for boxing. It kind of speaks to you as a fighter. So right now I got Terence Crawford number one.
Come on, man. You done pulled back on me.
No, I'm saying I don't like the
with the key. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I've been preaching this from day one.
I gave my.
I respect that. I respect that. But I'm saying, okay, but Lomachenko and Canelo, that's the people that bring up the point that they bring up. Let's talk about them, like, because that's the so Canelo and Lomachenko. Let's compare them three.
With Crawford?
Yeah.
Okay.
Crawford. Name me a fighter that's calling out Crawford that Crawford said no to.
That said no to?
Yeah, like Canelo said, Crawford said, no, I don't want to fight this dude. It's just the guy. Like, throw a name out there, period.
No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't. That's not even, he doesn't.
Crawford called out Lomachenko. Crawford called out Errol Spence. He called out anybody. Even when Postal wanted to fight him, he fought Postal right away. The gold medalist Flex Diaz, he fought him right away, dominated him. So, meanwhile, we got Lomachenko. He got Devin Haney calling him out. He got Shakur calling him out. He even got Manny Pacquiao calling him out. And he turned down fights.
Calling him out?
Yeah, even Shakur called him out. But I'm just pointing it out like nobody's scared. And then you got, on the other hand, you got even Lomachenko turning down a fight with Manny Pacquiao. Turning down a fight with Devin Haney. He wants no smoke. Canelo Alvarez don't want to fight with Charlo, Andrade. All these top fighters, Beterbiev, Benavidez. He don't want none of that smoke. All these fighters calling him out. He ain't trying to see these people. That's why Terence Crawford pound for pound number one. On top of that, he the most dominant of the bunch. Like Terence Crawford dominated his opponent the most. Lomachenko struggled every now and then. Canelo Alvarez obviously struggles every now and then, and he hardly wins and robs people like Lara and stuff. Meanwhile, Crawford dominates his opponents. Third reason is he a 3-time world champion, 3 different weight classes. And he's still looking for all the smokes like an Errol Spence. I mean, picture Errol Spence being in the division with Canelo. Canelo ain't gonna look to his way. He like, man, let me get away as far as I can. Especially if I'm moving up 3 divisions. That's my 3rd division, and it's an Errol Spence is my division. Canelo ain't want none of that. He only calling out Errol Spence is because he wants Errol Spence to move up 2 weight divisions. So all I'm saying, and Errol Spence is willing to do that. But it shows that Errol and Crawford cut from the same cloth. So this is why Terence Crawford is pound for pound number one. Because he out here being the most dominant, fighting anybody and everybody, asking for all the smoke. And he has the skill and the looks, from the looks to the hooks, to back it up. So today you say what? You disagree? Or
No,
you making a case for anybody?
I'm going to give it to it. So I also want to, because I used to always big up Lomachenko, the people that he beat, but I'm gonna go through. This is Terrence Crawford's kind of box rate, and I'm gonna not only say the person's name, but I'm gonna say their record at the time. So
Hey, go from because it's gonna be a long list.
well, yeah, but it
go
is,
from
but,
when he fought the fighter that knocked out
not
Amir
the whole
Khan.
thing. So from not that who Amir Khan. All right, so that's Bradis Prescott.
Yeah.
So at the time, Bradis was a little worn, but
it
he
was a
dominated him.
short.
Yeah. So he was like 26-4. I want to say that, but I'm gonna go from when he won the WBO World Light Champion from like Ricky Burns, who was Terrence Crawford was favored, but Ricky Burns is a well-respected fighter. Okay, so from in there, unanimous decision. Ricky Burns was 36-2-1. Then he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa, who and he was WB, and this was for the W defending his title. He was 23-0 out there, knocked him out. Then he fought Raimondo Beltran, that used to be Manny Pacquiao's sparring champ, but like a really tough dude.
And he broke Ricky Burns' jaw when they fought.
Exactly. So he beat him. His record was a little bit, it's 29-6-1. But then he fought Thomas DeLermo, knocked him out. This is for the super lightweight title.
At
So
140.
now
He moved up.
Yeah, so he's moving up from 135 to 140. Then he fought Deary John, who was 29-1 at the time, knocked him out. He fought Henry Lundy, who was like, but Lundy is somebody who like you see, and I'm like, this guy has skills. Like he has that, but he doesn't keep his concentration long. And then he was talking junk he was in Terrence Crawford, and Terrence bodied him. Then he fought Victor Postal. This was for the WBC.
And Postal coming off a Matisse knockout.
WBO, exactly. It was 28-0, knocked him out. He fought John Molina Jr., knocked him out. He fought Felix Diaz, who was 19-1, made him retire. Then he fought, I thought it was going to be a tough fight. He fought Julius Ndongo, who was 22-0. So this was for the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. So this is undisputed. At the time, he was one of two fighters who can say they were undisputed in boxing.
He was the first one.
Knocked him out, bodied him in the second round, I believe, for body shot. Then Jeff Horn was like, all right, Jeff Horn had all this. People didn't realize Jeff Horn was undefeated.
Yeah.
He had beat there. Body him. They thought Jeff Horn was too big, all that. Knocked him out. Then Jose Benavidez Jr., 27-0, knocked him out. He fought an Amir Khan, which I thought was just for a money fight at that time. But at the same, he still fought him. He's still a name. Knocked him out. It was a TKO because Amir Khan quit.
So that's what I'm saying. Like Terrence, and keep in mind during this whole run, he undefeated, dominating, not just winning, dominating, and calling out all the smoke. Moving up from the 135-pound, nobody wanted to fight him. Not Mikey Garcia, not nobody, not no Lomachenko, none of that. Keep in mind, at the same time, Gamboa was one of the most avoided fighters. Mikey avoided that fight, and it was Terrence Crawford that stepped up to the plate. Beltran, they said, oh, he ain't going to fight Beltran. He broke Ricky Burns' jaw and all that. Beat him like he was a nobody. Moved up to 140, cleared that whole division. However, you see Lomachenko today vacating belts because he don't want to be an undisputed champion. Even though that's his goal, he claimed that's his goal, but he don't want to go through that smoke to do it. It's how difficult it is. Even though the 140-pound division was a little more light than 135 where Lomachenko is at.
Right now, it's for the taking.
But I'm saying that's the time to prove yourself. You got all this competition. That's the time to prove yourself, and you don't step up to the plate. Like Canelo at 150, 160. He want to be undisputed, but he didn't want to go through Charlo and Andre. And then Terrence Crawford moved up to 147 because everybody claimed, but Canelo, he got the Charlos of the world, the Andres of the world. Lomachenko got all these tough fights, but Terrence Crawford got nobody. Man, Terrence Crawford got Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Porter, Errol Spence, and he's calling out all these guys.
That's the deepest division.
That's what I'm saying,
boxing.
the deepest division. And he ain't acting like Canelo and Lomachenko. He's still calling out all the smoke. It's because he's cut from a different cloth. And that's why he's pound for pound number one, in my opinion. And I was making that case since Andre Ward retired. And I'm still making this case today because, like I said, he the only one that keep the same energy. Canelo ain't. Lomachenko definitely is not. So that's why we got to give Terrence Crawford the credit he earned and deserved. I'm not giving him any extra credit like Canelo Alvarez fans and Lomachenko fans giving Lomachenko and Canelo the bonus credit. Now you get no bonus credit over here. You know what I'm saying?
What's your top 5?
I mean, the list keep changing, man.
I mean, it should. It should with each fight, with each performance.
So I'm gonna say,
right
I'm gonna
now,
go ahead. Hey, I gotta talk to Dante about this because I want
go
to say
like 5 to 1.
I'm trying to say the
Go
new
from
media
5 to
list,
1.
but I'm gonna speak for me. Aki University list.
So start at 5, go to 1.
That's hard.
You want to go 1 to 5? I mean,
Yeah,
I
wanna
guess
go-
you could. Okay, yeah,
because
go
I wanna
ahead.
get-
1 to 5, go ahead.
Terrence Crawford, number 1.
All right.
Now, number 2 is tricky because I want to put Manny Pacquiao on the list because he beat Keith Thurman, right? But how can I do that when he obviously don't want to smoke with Errol Spence, but at the same time he fought Keith Thurman? But
Okay.
Lomachenko, on the other hand, he ducked Manny Pacquiao, who I want to put on number 2, but he ducked the Manny Pacquiao that I'm hesitant to put number 2. Canelo,
I mean, if you had to,
if Canelo ducking both Charlo and Andre and all these fighters, so it's like the lesser two evils. So I would say this. I would say I put, and this is kind of me pushing it. I say Lomachenko or Pacquiao. I'm gonna go with Lomachenko. I let Lomachenko slide. I gotta see what Manny Pacquiao do next. I gotta see what Lomachenko and Pacquiao do next to make that decision. But I'm gonna say Lomachenko for the moment. Number 3. That's a tough one. Like I said, I'm over here putting the fighters that's ducking on the top 3. Canelo, but I'm like, man, you out here ducking Andre and Charlo. So can I put Andre and Charlo?
Really, you want to? And
Because
wow,
if they got
go ahead.
If they got the best third number pound for pound ducking them, they qualify to be on the list.
It's your list. I'm surprised. I don't know if
So if Canelo ain't willing to fight Charlo and Andre, one of them guys fit that position. So let's go on to the next one.
All right, 4.
I would love to say Inoue, but I didn't like how he performed.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna put Inoue. I would say Errol Spence.
Okay.
Definitely number 4. Who number 5, man? That's a tough one right there. I will go with who, man? Help me out, man. This is a lot of names. It's a lot of names.
You got Wilder out there.
I mean, that Wilder definitely number 5
in there.
But,
so you got people like Usyk, who we haven't talked about in there. The Devin Haney's and secured.
They haven't did that much. I would say Deontay Wilder number 5.
Deontay Wilder.
All
right. So my 1 to 5, I'll go ahead and do for 1 to 5. So I got Terrence Crawford.
All right.
I dropped down Lomachenko to number 2.
All right.
Number 3, Errol Spence. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Canelo. I dropped out Inoue from my top 5, and I'm gonna put in Usyk.
Yeah, but Usyk looked horrible his last fight.
I didn't think he looked horrible.
All right, no, I like that list. Matter of fact, I like you putting Errol Spence number 3. I'll put Errol Spence number 3 for me too. I move Andre and Charlo winner number 4. You know what I'm saying? Because Canelo don't want to smoke. But now you sound like you agree with my list. I told you as far as Terrence Crawford,
I told you
number 1.
My list was
I'm
different.
good.
You sound like you agree with my list. But
No, I like your list though. But that being said, let's hop on to the next subject, which is I think that's the last subject. It just popped on me. Not Andre Ward, Roy Jones. He came out. I gotta let you hear this audio where he's talking shit because he's saying, "Put some respect on my name, man. It's been so long. Y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have." I saw Andre. I saw Roy Jones first time. I said, "Y'all must have forgot," because I ain't forgot him. So, stop playing with him. So then, Andre Ward.
You might want to put that picture up too, just as during the time when you and Roy was up there. I'm saying like during the editing, you can just throw the picture up there.
Oh yeah, but this is the audio. I want you to hear it. So,
just put it to the mic.
Yeah, don't put it to the mic.
never know when these niggas might say my name wrong. I can't get too far because this nigga Bernard Hopkins saying my name wrong again right now. You understand me? Then, when he said my name wrong, some nigga called me yesterday to my he represented Antonio Tarver. These niggas think I'm some older that I still won't throw. I still got hands and I stay in shape just in case a nigga like them start something they shouldn't start. So now they already get me agitated. I hate I had to say it here first, but they have to be the guy. You feel me? Because these niggas in their prime couldn't touch me. They think because I got old and now they got a chance to do something, so they want to try to take advantage of it. You feel me? But it's all good. So they don't know I do stay ready just in case. So that's why I stay close to right, just so I can get right if I have to get right for one of these niggas.
He said he stay right in case he got to get right for one of these guys. So basically, Roy Jones and Hopkins got their whole commotion. We didn't even talk about it, but they were calling each other out, and you know, like they too old. They should let it slide to these young guns. But basically, Tarver, Hopkins keep calling out Roy Jones, and Roy is like, man, in my prime, y'all must have forgot. None of y'all wanted to step up to the plate. Y'all kept asking too much money, like won a 50-50 split when I already beat you, Hopkins. And you don't want to move up to my division. You wanted me to move down when I'm pound for pound number one. I already beat you. And now when I'm old, when I'm no longer Roy, you know what I'm saying? When I'm just Roy Jones, a retired man, you're going to call me out, disrespect my name. And we know Roy's the most gifted fighter of all time, could go down one of the greatest fighters of all time, and definitely one of the greatest fighters in his generation. I believe the greatest fighters for the past 25 years, that list should have been Floyd and Roy Jones, top two.
Yeah, easy.
It shouldn't been no Manny Pacquiao. I'm sorry.
Easy.
But I'm saying put some respect on his name. He's saying Hopkins and Tarver keep calling him out, and we gotta call it what it is. Hopkins is my guy, but you know, he be an old washed up version of of Roy Jones. The prime Roy broke his hand, and he was one-handed and still dominated Hopkins. Tarver lost to Roy Jones the first time, even though he lost 25 pounds moving down from the heavyweight division. The biggest mistake he made in his life, because he could have fought Tyson at the time for $40 million, but plus pay-per-view, but he was like, you know what? I won that fight to build. Even though he was 36 years old, he should have just capitalized on the moment. And Tyson was already washed up, Roy. He that was the biggest mistake he made in his life. So he moved down in weight, fought his sparring partner that been sparring with him his whole life. You know what I mean? Like, you sparring with this dude your whole life. And
we talking about Tarver?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't
not his whole life. I'm over exaggerating.
They just they grew up in the same area, so they were always doing so.
Yeah, but I'm saying you
they
get
had
my
a
point.
lot of I see what you're saying.
So it ain't like he didn't used to that speed. He didn't never seen that speed before. The power, like he's seen it. He know the style. You see it coming. If I spar you every day and fight you, I'm gonna be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get that shock moment. Like, where the fuck that shit come from? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and Roy was already old, losing all that weight. I believe he was no longer the same after he moved up to heavyweight and cut that weight down. Now Tarver and Hopkins want to act like they beat this prime Roy when nobody wanted. Man, he beat Tony like he stole something, and Tony wasn't one of the best at the time.
He was one of the top pound for pound fighters, a dominant fighter.
Yeah, and Roy just dominated him every round, dropping him in the process. So what do you got to say about what Roy's saying? Is Tarver and Hopkins over the line? Do they need to put more respect on his name?
So I think generally that the boxing public really doesn't understand how bad of a man this was during his prime. So for 10 years straight, he was unquestionably the pound-for-pound champion. And name
the fighters that were fighting at the time, just to give them a little peek for
Floyd
the people that don't know.
Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad Jr., Sugar Shane, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Prince Nassim. So
Tony,
it goes on. Tony,
Holyfield, Tyson. And their prime guys, and Roy Sean, pound for pound number one, like no question about it. Pretty boy Floyd was around, man.
And this was somebody who rarely lost a round. There was like you had to during his prime. It was hard to pick out rounds that he lost. He was so dominant. He did not get hit. I'm talking about rounds. Yeah, just rounds that he lost.
Yeah, he got hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like when you were Roy, don't even talk about losing a round. Talking about the round he got hit. Like you don't even go. He goes round without getting hit.
But he made one of the biggest mistakes in a professional career. After he beat
Don
Ruiz,
Bob Arum. my bad.
John Ruiz, he jumped up. It wasn't like he was a cruiserweight. He jumped up from 175, put on this muscle, looked great. Had Ruiz hurt and dominated him, barely got touched at all, and became a heavyweight champion.
Moving from one, and he fought at 154.
Yeah, he started out there, and so then he went down. I don't know why. I think part of it was boxers were prideful, and he took on and Antonio Tarver.
Tarver disrespect him.
But it's like they do that. Those things. And he actually beat him the first fight. A lot of people were saying that. The thing that people were surprised. That's what I'm talking about. Like, Roy actually beat him that first fight. But it was close. That's why it warranted a rematch. A lot of people were just not even seeing Roy challenge. So they was like, I was like, no, watch that fight. And Roy showed his championship heart.
He was tired.
And
he was
ability.
out.
But he came back in those championship rounds. And when we say that, saying those are usually like 10, 11, 12, or what, like 11, 12, because those you don't fight those unless you are fighting for a belt. But like 10, 11, 12, he really bit down and showed what was inside of him. And then in the next fight, he got caught with a perfect left hand counter.
Tarver knew him too well.
Yeah.
And Roy was no longer Roy. His reflexes was gone. And because he made so many mistakes, because he wrote his own book. Boxing has its own book, and Roy and Prince Nassim Muhammad Ali got their own rules and shit. So he broke the rules and all that, but it's at a price. When your gifts go away, and the people say he don't have a chin. He got clipped by Tony, one of the biggest punchers. He got clipped by power punches in his prime. Nothing happened. He took it like it was nothing. But I believe it was the weight loss. I believe it's him being old and all that. That's what caused Roy to get knocked out. That's why Tarver know what time it is. They know how good Roy was. Hopkins knows what time it is. So quit disrespecting the man. The man retired. Let the man rest in peace. Give him his credit. He beat y'all in y'all prime. Roy, after he dropped from heavyweight, none of that matters, because the only thing that helped him at that moment is that he showed character, that even when he gassed out, he's looked at a second win and still got the victory against Tarver.
Absolutely.
And you got to keep in mind, imagine that in his prime. It just showed, he had heart all along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he never been tested in his prime, really, because he was such that good. It's like that song he dropped. Classic album. It ain't that they ain't a nobody. It's just that I make them look like they a nobody. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, put some respect on his name.
And then for those out there, if y'all have not done your research, because the reason I don't like seeing Roy fight now is because the last thing you see is the image that you hold of a person, and this is just a shell.
It's a bad taste in your mouth
fighter.
because.
So I hope Roy is not thinking about getting back in the ring.
Oh, I hope not, because look, man. Like, Roy was one of them guys. He do some shit off the Matrix. Talking about the Matrix, let's talk about Roy, not Lomachenko, because that's a poor version of the Matrix. Roy put his hands behind his back.
Yep.
And unlike Conor McGregor, where he did it behind his back, but he a mile away and shit.
Yeah.
Roy does it in close range, in mid-range. And guess what? He made him miss and countered him and knocked him out. Man, that's unheard of. For you to counter somebody and knock him out with your hands behind your back and knock somebody out in that fashion.
Yeah,
Him and Prince Nassim Muhammad used to do some crazy shit, but Roy took it to a whole nother level because he was such dominant. So for people not to give Roy his credit just because he lost after his prime, I could care less, because I care of how you looked in your prime, like Ali. We never got to see Ali prime, but before his prime, we got a taste of that, and we saw a version that will never lose to any heavyweight. That's why I got all the respect for Ali and believe he the greatest. Just like I believe, pound for pound, Roy Jones possibly the greatest. Him, Floyd, and Sugar Ray Robertson. But Roy, you can't deny him what he earned, which is he the most dominant fighter in his prime. You know, I mean, period. Offensively, defensively, speed-wise, I mean, he was a fighter that paint a perfect picture. I mean, man, Roy, I can speak of his legend all day.
A slight correction. I said Deval. It was actually against, because he actually got dropped by Deval, but it was against Glenn Kelly, who at the time, he wasn't a good fighter. He was an undefeated fighter, but that's where so if you want to see where Roy Jones puts his hands behind his back and then drops a dude, that's that Glenn Kelly
Just
fight.
Look at Roy's whole career, man. That dude's whole career's highlights. that's the last topic of the day. We end Split Decision episode 8. We had a great episode. Appreciate it, Professor Nim. At the end of the day, I just had to get things cleared up because a lot of people, they get it misconstrued because me and Professor Nim, man, we go way back. So for the people that don't know, Professor Nim already know. I ain't even letting him know anything that he don't know. I'm just letting the people and the viewers something that they might not be informed on because they just saw Professor Nim pop up and they don't know we get way back. We yelling and stuff. We get lost in the passion. You know what I mean? We get lost in the sauce sometimes because this is the favorite moment of my week is when I do Split Decision because that's how much I love the sport of boxing. I take it to the heart. You know what I'm saying? So I got love for the sport and I'm very passionate about it. Same for Professor Nin. You know what I mean? He a professor, but he a Golden Glove champion. That's him. Yeah, y'all see on that painting. You know what I mean? That's a painting that cost some bread too.
I was slim back then.
You know what I mean? He was slim. He fight 135. He 139. He 170 now. That's my weight, my walking around weight. Hey, you could get the smoke. I'm sorry, but you ain't ready for this young gun.
But we want all the smoke. That's the CBD oils. I'm down to spar. I try not to take
delusional, man.
I try not to take too many punches to the head now because doing my research.
It's part is light, and we ain't finna fight for real.
But with that said, we want to make sure that you subscribe.
Hey, and you know what? Right? Let KSI know or Logan Paul. If I'm considered a YouTuber, exactly. I really want all the smoke.
Y'all can have the weight advantage. Y'all can do everything. I'll train him. That's what we do. It's a wrap.
Listen, Adam Saleh, he 126.
Man, he too little. He too little,
small.
Man. And then that's your people, man.
And Logan Paul, 200 pounds.
That's your twin.
That's why next time I see him, I'm gonna talk to him and shit. But like, man, listen, bro, man, that dude too big for you. I love you and all that, but you got way more skill. But your punches ain't gonna do no damage. But you know what, KSI, Logan Paul, like I said, I ain't joking. I want to smoke with them guys. Guess what? Pick the weight division. You can fight 200 pounds, 200 plus. None of that shit gonna help you.
I can put you on a diet, you know what I'm saying? Build you up a little bit. I don't
need no diet. I need to build a little muscle because I only weigh 170.
Not a diet, but when I say diet as far as like the food to build up muscle, we going to get you into, we probably won't go all the way to 200, but we'll probably get you to 187, 190.
I'm at 190. I'm not going to go too much.
I'll
go 185.
But solid, ready. Skill-wise, it's a wrap.
Man, stop playing with me. Hey. Stop playing with me. I will wash KSI and Logan Paul. No disrespect. I don't got nothing against them brothers. But one thing for sure, they like boxing. I mean, man, KSI, for example, he get knocked out to the body on some Rigondeaux shit by me. KSI, for example, feint will get him to to react and walk him to something. So I ain't gonna say all that for nothing because ain't nothing finna happen anyways. We know KSI ain't finna fight me. But I'm just saying, I'm willing to step up because Adam Saleh versus KSI is not a fair fight. I'm willing to step up to the table. If I'm a YouTuber, guess what? We could fight for. If I win, I do it for recognition. Matter of fact, exactly. You know what?
We're gonna do it for charity.
That money goes to Yemen to help the cause because you know what I mean. At the end of the day, 18 million people supposed to die by the end of the year because of
call them out, man. Saudi Arabia,
people being hungry and stuff. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm willing to step up to the table. KSI, Logan Paul, we want all the smoke. But on a real note, my man, Professor Nim, you know what I'm saying? We had a great show today. Devin Haney, shout out to Devin Haney. Congratulations to Billy Dibb. The reason we didn't talk about him because
Saunders.
But Saunders, he ducked my man Andrade, got busted for steroids. I ain't finna talk about that, man, till he step up and go some cojones and fight Andrade, since Andrade offered him a rematch and he turned it down. But subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these casual fans. Follow Lunatune Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. Follow me at IKTV. All these links will be in the description box below. Professor Nim will be in the description. I mean, not in the description box, but in the comment section. If you'll
see me under.
Bring up facts, like I said, guys. You know what I'm saying? Disagree. We could agree to disagree, but just bring up facts. None of y'all brought up any facts to disagree with anything I brought up last show. You know what I mean? Y'all saying all this stuff, hating on my drip and shit, but at the end of the day, none of that matter. Like, stick
and
to
bring your receipts.
Bruh,
bring your receipts.
Like, if y'all telling me that
bring your receipts.
Hey, man, Professor, we already know we too fresh. You know what I mean? They out here hating on our drip. Like, tell us something new. Like, tell me if you disagree about something. Tell me what you disagree with and bring up facts to support your opinion, because that's what I bring to the table. And today, because we got these red cards, you know what I'm saying? Professor Nin get 1 strike. I ain't had time to do that. I don't know what he brought up.
It's a wrap.
But one day today, hey, Professor Nin, he get the red cards just one time and one time only. But he co-signed me today. He said Canelo avoiding. My man said Crawford. He said Crawford pound for pound #1.
Go to the tape. Go to the tape. Go to the tape.
I'm happy today.
Yo, but great show. We appreciate all the comments and everything. And remember, it might be CBD, but we won't all smoke.
Hey, I don't know, man. Professor Nin, the CBD, I believe, had Professor Nin saying,
man, it's all good.
said making confessions and shit. Well, appreciate it, Professor Nin.
Yes, sir.
And, you know what I mean? On to the next episode, huh? We outie.
And the I go and say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put the ice in my bay, yeah. You riding on me, I get my drip overseas. Niggas a hater.